9 o'clock. We'll call the Board of Supervisors meeting. Call the board into session for the January 18th, 2022 meeting. This time, anyone may address the board on matters which are on the agenda. Please go to the podium, state your name and home address. Individuals wishing to comment on a public hearing will be given the opportunity during that respective hearing. Individual remarks are limited to 3 minutes. It doesn't appear we have anybody in chambers. Is anybody on Zoom?
There is not, Supervisor Potoff. I would like to point out that the Board of Supervisors has implemented a live transcript for today's meeting. And everybody on Zoom land should be able to read along at the bottom of their screen. And there's also a live transcript button. I would credit Ann Cameron Williams with contacting me, making the request, and then Nathan Gilmore as well as I work to make this happen. So hopefully we're a little more accessible this Monday morning.
That is terrific. Thank you, Ann. Thank you, Kevin. We have no one that would like to address the board on Zoom, Kevin? Okay.
Do we have Supervisor Wickham? I can't see the participants, so I don't know. Okay, very good. Good morning.
Good morning, Jay.
Good morning. Can the boardroom hear me? Can the boardroom
Are you
hear
there,
me?
Jay?
Can you hear me?
We cannot hear you, Supervisor Wickham.
Yeah, the phone didn't work either.
Can we get a text out to him to see if, oops, sorry, Carly.
All right. Then please hold 1 second.
I guess we didn't do our sound check. Usually we do that with Mary. Normally we do a sound check with Mary in advance when we're setting up, so.
Should have did that. I guess I was thinking Jay was going to be in and said it. I was a little behind the 8 ball there, my bad.
Would another participant of Zoom please test their speaking so we can see if we hear them, just so we can rule out a couple things?
Kevin, it's Tom Berger. I don't know if you can hear me, but I could hear Jay before when he replied on Zoom.
Test 1, 2. Tom, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you fine, Jay. I don't know. They must be able to hear us in the boardroom, huh?
This is Stella. I can hear both of you fine too.
Must be a boardroom thing.
Transcription's picking up something, but we're not hearing anything here.
This is Tammy. I can hear everybody just fine as well.
This is Tammy.
Can we have someone on Zoom speak to see if we can hear you now?
Supervisor Wickham, test 1, 2. Test 1, 2.
Thank you, Jay. You came through that time.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Sorry for the technical difficulties. We'll move forward. There were no comments on Zoom yet stated, right, Kevin? Correct. Okay. Move to proclamations. There are no proclamations for approval at this meeting. Go to the approval of the minutes of the meetings of January 10th, 2022.
I'll make a motion to approve those minutes.
I will second that.
I have a motion and a second to approve the minutes of the January 10th meeting. All in favor signify by aye.
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 Aye. Motion carries. Next, we'll move to consent items. There are no consent items for approval at this meeting. Move to procurement procedures. Proof of publication for the IT R52 door system.
I'll make a motion to approve the proof of publication.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the proof of publication. All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Move to the bid opening for the Farley Shop IT project. Kevin?
Yes, good morning. We have received one bid from Globalcom Technologies, received January 14th, 2022. And the total for the bid is $22,620.00. That's $22,620.00.
Make a motion to receive the bid and refer to the IT director, Nathan Gilmore, for review and a contact with us for advice.
I will second that.
You have a motion and a second to approve the bid and forward. All in favor signify by aye.
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 Aye. Motion carries. Next, we'll move to public hearings. There are no public hearings for this meeting. Next, the approval of plats. We have no plats for approval. Next are the action items. We have a resolution to approve the final progress voucher for the bridge replacement on Simon Road. Project BROS-SWAP-30C031 parentheses 106-FE31. We have our engineer, Anthony Barjett, here for context.
Good morning.
Morning, Anthony. Thank you.
So with this being a bridge replacement swap funded project, we have to go through the formal process of closing out the project with the Iowa DOT. And so the project is all complete. Now this is releasing the final voucher to be paid. So this is what before you today is the final progress voucher to be signed. And as it will kind of continue the process of closing out the project. So this is one of the last steps towards that process.
Okay, thank you, Anthony. Looking for a motion to approve the resolution for final progress voucher.
I'll move that. I'll make that motion.
And I will second it.
Have a motion and a second to approve the final progress voucher. All in favor signify by aye.
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 Aye. Motion carries.
Chair, on my agenda, I have an action item that talks about a duplicate warrant. Does anyone else see that?
Yes.
Yes, I have that.
Maybe they're just, I see it, well, actually it's labeled B and it's first. Okay, there we go.
Okay, next is the approval of a $29.59 duplicate warrant to Lexus Cereals.
I'll make a motion to approve the duplicate warrant.
Second.
Have a motion and a second to approve the duplicate warrant. All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Next, we have a resolution to authorize the chair to sign the FEMA change of representative application.
Make a motion to approve the resolution.
And I will second that.
Have a motion and a second to approve the resolution. All in favor signify by aye.
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 Aye. Next, we have a resolution approving the release of mortgage for the Southeast Iowa Regional Planning Commission. We have some correspondence that we do not have on that yet. Ed has been working on that. I would suggest that we table that or take no action at this time until we receive more information on that.
Make a motion to table.
And I will second that motion.
Have a motion and a second to table. All in favor signify by aye.
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 Excuse me, Supervisor Putoff. This
I was contacted by ECIA. I have the paperwork for this. It was included in the packets. So if there's any questions that I can answer, Ed doesn't have to look into this because I'm already taking care of it.
Okay, I guess we didn't have a whole lot of information on it as it took place prior to, I think, just about everybody that's here being here.
This is one of those programs where Dubuque County was like a pass-through. And we held the mortgage, we have to sign the 5 different mortgage releases because they have all been paid now. It's a program that ECIA was managing and was for the Southeast Iowa Regional Planning Commission.
Okay,
Mary,
Mary-
this is,
Go ahead, Jay.
my understanding, we were completed with this program and we were no longer, there was no longer any additional mortgages out there, but
That
apparently
was
there
through the
is
CDBG. This is a
Okay.
different program.
another program. All right.
Yeah.
Mary, is it time sensitive?
I don't believe so. They just asked it to be put on our next agenda,
And
which
Ed,
is today.
Ed, can I ask you what other questions you were researching?
I asked that both to ECIA and to Southeast Iowa Regional Planning Commission that they provide a memo that just says, this is why you're in this is what has happened, and this is the action that we're requesting. And they indicated that they would provide that for your next meeting.
Mary, this is Supervisor McDonough. I think if I might just maybe make a comment to you, I think one of the things we're trying to do is generally just get some memos about this so that we don't have this conversation.
Frequently year over year. So if there was some context in writing for us, for kind of the historical record, that might help us better understand why these come up. And we always have the same kind of conversation. So I guess I still stand by the motion to table for 1 week. Let's see what we can find.
Jay?
Sounds good.
Okay, we'll leave that tabled until we get some more information on that. Thank you, Mary.
Yep.
Next, we have a resolution to approve the fiscal year 2022 purchase of service contracts. Ed, did you want to give some context to that?
Morning, this is Ed Raber. There are 4 additional organizations that we've ironed out a scope of work for the project and have an agreement ready to go. I think most of these projects are ones in which the activities have occurred in the first half of this fiscal year. So if these are approved, there'll just be one left, and that's at Mercy One Turning Point, and that's just in their legal department. So I anticipate that will be back on your docket shortly. We'll be working with all of these organizations right now to get them to turn in any receipts that they have, because this is reimbursable now, and get them paid through the auditor's office. So we'll be shooting that back out shortly. But I have no other comments about these 4.
Okay, they've all signed contracts.
The order that we have been doing, they have reviewed all of this material and gotten it back, and upon your approval and your signature, I shoot it back to them. They sign to execute that, and we deliver all these back to the auditor's office.
Okay. Any discussion? Jay or Ann?
No, I'm in support of all these purchase of service agreements, and my memory is 3 out of 4 we've funded in the past. I don't recall the Dyersville Area Historical Society, but I do recall many of their requests. I'm not sure if we've ever had approved one, but I'm in support of all 4 that's presented today.
You're looking for a motion to approve?
I will make a motion to approve. the resolution.
Second,
Have a motion and a second to approve the fiscal year 2022 purchase of service contracts. All in favor signify by aye.
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 Aye. Motion carries. Next, we have discussion and possible action on a purchase of service application for the Fountain of Youth for $35,000 and Travel Dubuque for $60,000. I would start with the Fountain of Youth. They had applied for $35,000 purchase of service agreement. They intended on bringing that up when we did it, the last purchase of service agreements, and I neglected to do that. So that's kind of a tail ender. Travel Dubuque, 60,000, which they have applied for yearly also.
Well, I guess I would comment, from my perspective, both of these groups have applied for the same thing, basically, in our purchase of services grants from last December. So, well, a full year plus ago. And also then for their ARPA request. And I think that in visiting with both of these groups, and I think you said Fountain of Youth only to talk about it this time. Fountain of Youth, I think, is in need of, if we're going to help them, this is their need at this time. We can come back to address their greater request, but we have created a budget issue to some extent for them. If we're not going to do that purchase of services or assist them, then they have to get some other kind of funding together. So that's why I do believe we should move forward on Fountain of Youth. We have funded them in the past. They were a previous recipient of a purchase of services grant, and they are involved in our jail. They're doing great work with Partners in Change. So I certainly think this is a good program to support, and it aligns, I think, with lots of things that we're trying to accomplish as a board. So I'm certainly in favor of moving forward with the Fountain of Youth program.
Yeah, I think both Fountain of Youth and Travel Dubuque we have funded in the past, and I've been pleased with their performance and their community involvement. So definitely echo the statements of support with Fountain of Youth, and I would encourage the board to also approve the funding for Travel at Dubuque today.
Right. And then if I can talk about Travel Dubuque, the same thing. It's the same, very similar situation that these groups have received assistance from the county in the past, and I think they do essential work. So we should take action to remove them kind of from that limbo of being both purchase of services and, an ARPA request.
I would agree. Both organizations have done outstanding work for the county. Travel Dubuque obviously was behind the ball game last August out at the Field of Dreams, and did a super job with that, and working towards this year also. So
It is listed as possible action. Therefore, I would if the chair would allow, I would make a motion to approve both of those purchase of services agreements and have Ed Raber come back with contracts for us to approve at our next meeting.
I will second that.
okay. Have a motion and a second to approve the purchase of service applications for the Fountain of Youth and Travel Dubuque. All in favor signify by aye.
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 Aye. Motion carries. Ed, you'll take care of that then? Thank you. Under communications, we have a manure management plan from McDonald Schmidt Farm, number 62175.
I'll make a motion to receive and file.
Second.
We have a motion to receive and file the manure management plan. All in favor signify by aye.
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 Aye. Motion carries. Next, we have appointments, open vacancies, informational only.
Could I make just a comment on that?
But
So I would like to, our information on our website about the boards and commissions and this, this document itself are not, they are not the same. And Food Policy Council had a question this week, who's up and what's up and when do terms expire? So I really think I would ask that someone kind of take charge of that and make sure that what we're putting out to the public is what's on our website. And let's look for discrepancies because there are many. So I'd like to make sure that what we're doing, I think, a fantastic job at transparency. And we're doing a much greater job at our requests for those things, but it still doesn't, I don't know what to tell people to refer to as the final word on being part of our boards and commissions.
I did see there were a couple positions on the Food Policy Council that had expired, I think December 31st, was it? So we're just a little behind on that is all, but we're good. Do we have that? Put up? Okay.
There's like there's on our website, it says there's 2 or 3 vacancies on the Food Policy Council.
There probably is 2, so that's probably right. From December 31st, I think there was 2 of them that were terms expired.
I don't know if we did any outreach for that. So if someone could just, and I would appreciate knowing, I mean, I know that Tanya's been working with this kind of, following things along, but I think we might need to get some high level of ownership of this. So while we try to get it all correct and accurate.
Anything further on that? Move the personnel requisitions. Looking for a motion to approve the personnel requisition for permanent full-time assistant zoning administrator.
Where is Angie going, Don?
I believe Angie's going back to the treasurer's office. if I'm
You
not
are
mistaken.
correct, Supervisor Potash. She has been offered and accepted a deputy position with the treasurer's office.
I'll make a motion to approve the personnel requisition.
And I will second that.
Have a motion and a second to approve the personnel requisition for the permanent full-time assistant zoning administrator. All in favor signify by aye.
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 Aye. Next, we have a motion to approve the personnel requisition for permanent full-time clerk 4 in zoning. Not aware where Amy is going or?
Yep, I can provide some context. So with Angie leaving and going to the treasurer's office, and in accordance with the courthouse union contract, there is potential that Amy would interview and be accepted as the assistant zoning administrator. So Amy is not leaving at this point, but we're just anticipating and to help shorten that time for the backfill, that if Amy were to apply and be offered the assistant, that we would be able to move quickly to fill that clerk 4 position. So if that does not occur, this is, we would not move to fill that position, but just trying to help with the backfill schedule in that department, since it is a small department.
Thank you, Don. Be looking for a motion to approve.
How long has Amy been in the department?
I would have to look, I think 2 to 3 years that she's been in that department.
It would be my preference that we wait to see how that goes, honestly, so that we're not presuming that there's going to be, I don't have a weigh in on this either way, but there's not harm, is there, in waiting?
And this is Supervisors, this is Tammy Henry.
Did we ask Tammy to speak?
No.
Is there harm in waiting?
It's just, it's a small department, and again, we have to go by the union contract, where if an employee within that department applies and is deemed qualified, they get first right to that position before we would even open it up outside within the county and then even potentially externally to the general public as well. So we were trying to help that department out of not waiting another week or two to fill this as Tammy goes through that process to fill the assistant zoning administrator position.
Well, again, we meet every Monday, but that's maybe me personally.
We will work with your schedule.
I understand you're obviously just trying to expedite the process. Jay, you have any opinions?
I'd like to hear from Tammy.
Okay, Tammy?
Good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, so it is important that we keep moving along. I do know that Amy is interested in applying for the position. And in fact, we are working on training for that position with Amy. So it is really about us trying to be able to transition, keep this moving forward so that we are not falling behind in this department. So it would be my request that these are both approved so we can keep moving forward.
Okay, thank you, Tammy.
Thank you.
I'm comfortable with the request from HR and from zoning at this point.
Okay, be looking for a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the personnel requisition.
Second,
Have a motion and a second to approve the personnel requisitions. All in favor signify by aye.
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 Aye, motion's carry. Move to the public comment section. At this time, anyone may address the board on matters of which are concerned to that person and which are not agenda items. Please go to the podium, state your name and home address. Please be aware that the board is limited in their ability to respond to such inquiries, and Iowa code prohibits the board from deliberating or acting on items not appearing on the agenda. Individual remarks are limited to 3 minutes. It appears we do not have anyone in chambers. Do we have anyone on Zoom that would like to speak?
I have no indications on Zoom.
Okay,
I'll make a motion to recess until Thursday at 1 o'clock.
I will second that.
I have a motion and a second to recess until Thursday at 1 o'clock when we start the budget. All in favor signify by aye.
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 Aye. We are in recess. Thank you, everyone.